Now on Coast TV News.
No bark at the beach, where Lewes officials are looking to keep dogs off the sand during the summer season.
Plus, lawmakers target airlines. The new legislation that could get to the floor of the Delaware General Assembly that takes aim at the businesses assisting ICE.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva. We're beginning in the 30s, pushing the lower 50s this afternoon, and it gets even milder in the days ahead with the threat of heavy rain.
Blue Hens Bowl Night. Delaware adds to their history with postseason FBS play.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us today on Wednesday, December 17th, 2025.
Yeah, we saw there's some excitement about the Blue Hens game tonight. I know there's some watch parties in the area of that.
Did you get invited to any?
I did not, but then again, it's past my bedtime. I'm gonna have to check the internet when I saw what you did there. Chris probably saw it too, and he's very offended by it, but he has some good temperatures to talk about today. Let's get right to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. He's in the Weather Center. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yes, we're slowly beginning to thaw out across the area. We still have some cold temperatures this morning, especially away from the beaches where we're at 35 in Ocean View. So most of the beach locations are above the freezing mark, but we're running a good 10 to nearly 13 degrees warmer across the peninsula than where we were at just this time 24 hours ago. You can see we're running at 37 Bethany Beach, but further inland we're at 31 in Harrington, 29 in Bridgeville. That's all thanks to southwest winds. We actually hit our lows for the day just after midnight, and temperatures have been slowly creeping up. Wind chills still in the lower 20s west of Coastal Highway. High pressure retreating offshore, and that's going to allow for more southwest winds to kick in today. A weak cold front is going to be pushing through later today, just adding some added cloud cover throughout the day. But overall, a really nice afternoon under a mix of sun and clouds. Will top out in the low to mid 50s across the Delmarva Peninsula. Turns milder into our Thursday as we make a run at 60 degrees. Yellow alert in play for our Friday morning, due in part to some heavy rain and wind. I'll have the latest how much rain we could expect to see and how high those winds will howl Friday morning coming up. My full 7-day forecast.
All right, I guess we're not looking forward to that, but that's some key weather information that we'll have to see later on today. Chris, thank you for that. Well, our top story this hour is rules for dogs on the beach in Lewes. Today, the city's ad hoc committee is looking at a potential change in its dog ordinance. They say this will limit confusion.
CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is live at Lewes Beach, and Elisa, the proposal looks to ban dogs during the summertime entirely at some of the city's beaches.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Right now, I am at Savannah Beach, which is one of the guarded beaches here in Lewes. And today, the city's ad hoc committee is going to look at a proposed ordinance that would ban dogs from restricted areas during the summertime at guarded beaches, which means where lifeguards are present and on duty. And according to the city of Lewes, they say that the current rules right now allow dogs on leashes from 8 a.m., before 8 a.m., and after 6:30 in the summertime. The proposed ordinance looks to ban dogs on beaches during the entire summer in restricted areas, which the city says again are beaches with lifeguards. The city says this is to eliminate confusion and to prevent dog waste from being left on the beach. The city did emphasize to us that dogs are allowed on beaches where lifeguards do patrol, but of course they must be on a leash. And again, this is just a proposed ordinance. They are just discussing this at their ad hoc committee meeting, which will take place this morning at 11 a.m. Back to you.
Lisa Weber live in Lewes. Let's take another look at where this ban would go in place. We're talking Savannah Beach and Johnny Walker Beach. These are the areas included in these potential, got to emphasize that it's potential new rules. You can see those areas right here on your screen. And currently dogs are not allowed on the beach in Lewes from May 1st to September 30th. The new rules would ban dogs at guarded beaches during peak season.
And here's a look at an accessory dwelling unit, which is when a main house and a second independent living space sit on the same property. New this morning, the Lewes Planning Commission will discuss the rules surrounding the properties, specifically the requirement that property owners must live in one part of an ADU.
Yeah, in a beach community like Lewes, the city says there's several existing ADUs where both units are being used as short-term rentals, and that those people are breaking the rules because, according to code, the property owner must live in one of the units.
Realtor Leanne Wilkinson previously wrote a letter to the Lewes Planning Commission saying the ADU ordinance needs to be looked at closer to make things more fair.
if you don't count the duplexes, if you don't count the townhouse communities, condo communities, those all are allowed to be rented as short-term rentals, all of them. So why does this poor little 2.6% of our homes not get the same rights that everybody else has?
The Lewes Planning Commission gathers tonight at 6:30 p.m.
Going to stay in Lewes here. The city's taking a look at the impact of its 2024 wetlands ordinance to private property owners. This is another one that's part of that ordinance review ad hoc committee meeting today. And one area of attention is the ability to remodel existing structures or new structures. The ordinance regulating these areas states its purpose is to increase buffers around wetlands.
Conversation continuing on the 4th Street Preserve in Lewes. According to the subcommittee, the project task force is looking at the master plan implementation. In November, the Delaware Master Naturalist Program began the first phase of invasive plant removal at the 4th Street Preserve. The Lewes 4th Street Preserve subcommittee meets this afternoon at 4 p.m.
And also this afternoon, BB Healthcare will break ground on its newest health campus in Millsboro. It's located near the new bypass at Sheep Pen Road and Route 20. BB says this new facility will include a freestanding emergency department with pediatric care, walk-in services, lab services, and a retail pharmacy. And for directions on how to get there and also what you can expect out of this new building, you can search for the article on our website, CoastTV.com. Authorities are continuing to investigate a school bus crash in South New Jersey that sent several people to the hospital. It was on Tuesday. 6 students, a school bus driver, and 3 other people were injured after that school bus collided with a car. You see that car right there. Police say the students, the bus driver, they were taken to a hospital with minor injuries.
You may already know that Avelo Airlines, which operates out of Wilmington Airport, works with immigration and customs enforcement on deportation flights. Now, some Democrats in Delaware General Assembly are looking to cut off incentives for airlines to do this. 2
new bills would block things like airport contracts and fuel tax breaks for airlines that fly detainees without proper court approval. And the Democrats say the goal is to make sure public dollars don't support what they call reckless immigration enforcement.
The measures are expected to be filed this week and taken up with the legislative session beginning on January 13th.
Maryland lawmakers are welcoming a new Speaker of the House after Tuesday's special session. Jocelyn Pena-Malnick is the new leader of the Maryland House of Delegates. She's a Democrat from Prince George's County. She succeeds Adrienne Jones, who announced earlier this month that she was stepping down from that leadership position after 6 years.
I will fight for everyone. I don't care where you come from, especially those who feel unseen and unheard.
Maryland lawmakers will return to Annapolis for the start of the regular General Assembly session on January 14th.
Thanks to know, Maryland lawmakers decided on more than just a new House Speaker on Tuesday. According to officials, they overrode several of Governor Westmore's vetoes. This includes one for a study to provide preparations for the descendants of enslaved people. Also, a study on the community impact of data centers in the state, and a veto of the Renew Act, a climate change legislation that holds polluters financially responsible.
We're now giving you a live look at Washington, D.C. on this Wednesday morning. And in that building, House Republicans are set to vote today on one more proposal. It's aimed at reducing health care costs. And this just in, that vote faces some stiff odds. Lawmakers divided over the right approach.
Currently, no deal has been made to extend those enhanced subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how this could mean insurance premiums are almost guaranteed to shoot up for millions of Americans covered under Obamacare.
This morning, growing anxiety over a looming spike in healthcare costs, with House Republican leadership opting not to vote on extending Affordable Care Act subsidies that expire in 2 weeks after failing to reach agreement with GOP moderates.
We're all trying to solve very complicated questions and challenges, and sometimes there's frustration with the process.
Among those moderates,
I think it's idiotic not to have an up or down vote on this issue.
Congressman Mike Lawler of New York, who called it political malpractice to not vote on extending the subsidies with conservative reforms.
3/4 of people on Obamacare are in states Donald Trump won. So maybe, just maybe, everybody should look at this and say, how do we actually fix the healthcare system?
Democrats want a 3-year extension of the COVID-era subsidies to keep premium costs from doubling for some 20 million Americans. But Republicans argue the subsidies are too expensive, and they don't want to pour more money into what they see as a broken system. Instead, the House is set to vote today on a separate plan of GOP-backed provisions aimed at reducing health care costs for all Americans. The Senate's top Republican acknowledging relief won't come before the subsidies expire.
I do think there is a potential pathway in January if Democrats are willing to come to the table on things that actually will drive down the cost of health care.
Moderate Republicans could offer an amendment in today's vote to extend the subsidies or join a Democratic push to force a vote, though both are a long shot. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Today's the last day to file to run for the town council in Ellendale. The town says people must submit forms no later than noon. According to the town, there are 3 open seats, and officials will hold a special meeting tonight at 6 p.m. to announce the candidates, and the agenda for that special meeting also states that officials could set an election date if needed.
Tonight in Mobile, Alabama, a bit of history will be made. That's when Delaware plays in their first ever FBS bowl game. The Blue Hens are pitted against the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns in the Ventures Bowl. Delaware finished their first regular season at college football's highest level with a 6-6 record, and kickoff tonight for this nationally televised game is at 8:30.
Oh, I'm sure you're looking forward to that one, Matt.
Yeah, it's exciting there.
Yeah, we're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, Delaware statute debate, why some lawmakers think it's time to take Caesar Rodney figure out of storage and the pushback associated with that possibility.
Also, restaurant reaches approval. The new plans in Milton and why some people may not support more fast food.
Still ahead, hunting safety as season starts. We'll tell you what DNREC is recommending. And there we see First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. He has some warmer temperatures to tell us about, and we check in with Chris next.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva, counting down the days to the weekend as well as Christmas as we take a live look into Laurel this morning. 30 degrees. Temperatures away from the beaches have been in the 20s and 30s, above the freezing mark in Rehoboth, Bethany Beach, where we're at 35 and 37. We've seen a chilly wind chill out there, especially west of Coastal Highway, where it feels like 21 in Bridgeville, 22 in Georgetown. Still under the influence of high pressure. We've had quite a cold start to this month. In fact, over the last 5 days, we've been well below average. 39 was our high yesterday. On our way to highs about 10 to 12 degrees warmer today. We'll rise into the 40s through the morning to eventually topping out in the low 50s this afternoon. We turn it even milder into our Thursday. Ahead of that rain, I'll have the latest rainfall totals coming up.
Thank you, Chris. DNREC urging hunters to take extra precaution during the state's waterfowl hunting season amid the recent detection of bird flu. The state says lab testing confirmed the virus in a 6 snow goose found last Monday in Kent County. Hunters are asked to handle harvested birds safely and report any sick or injured wildlife to DNREC. The season reopens today.
Medical debt relief is on the way to Delaware. Governor Matt Meyer announced the first round of the state's medical debt relief program. This is meant to wipe out up to $50 million of medical debt in the first state, with that first round set to eliminate nearly $19 million for more than 18,000 Delawareans. State leaders say the program targets households with lower incomes or high medical costs. There's no application process, and eligible Delawareans will receive letters confirming their debt has been erased.
A fan favorite for Matt of Oreo flavors making a comeback 10 years after it first hit store shelves. Oreo now announcing the cookie dough Oreo will return for a limited time starting December 22nd. This time around, the cookie dough will feature chocolate chip cookies instead of the traditional chocolate Oreo wafers. And Matt, very exciting. Other new offerings: Oreo Reese's cookies, Oreo muffins, Oreo cake stirs, and Oreo Thins ganache.
That is what you can get me for Christmas. The man known simply as the greatest is being honored with 2 stamps. These stamps feature boxing icon Muhammad Ali, and they debut on January 15th. Ali was a 3-time heavyweight boxing champion, but he also used his fame to advocate for peace and humanitarian issues. And in 2005, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the nation's highest civilian honor.
Slowly kicking off a warming trend on Delmarva here over the next few days. We'll be in the lower 50s today under a mix of sun and clouds, pushing 60 degrees by Thursday. That's ahead of a strong cold front that's going to bring quite a bit of rain as well as some high winds into Friday morning. We'll talk more about that later.
Time is 6:19, and we are giving you a live look. We got the flags in the breeze there at Ocean View, Chris, but wind chill, this is the good news. Wind chill is not a problem today.
No, by the afternoon, no. We are going to be in the low 50s. Mix of sun and clouds. Going to feel pretty nice after what we've been experiencing over the last few days. Take a live look into Laurel here. We have some high clouds rolling over 30 degrees there. Sunrise at 7:13, but there's some good news. We're running about 8 to 13 degrees warmer than we were just 24 hours ago across much of the Delmarva Peninsula. We've had southwest winds. We actually hit our lows just after midnight, so temperatures have been slowly creeping up through the overnight into the morning. 31 right now in Long Neck. We're at 37 Lewes, 32 in Bridgeville. You see the wind flow out of the southwest, so that's helping us turn a bit milder, but we're still seeing some chilly wind chills, especially west of Coastal Highway. It feels like 19 in Redden, 24 Bridgeville, 24 in Lewes. We're looking at gale watches. Those go into effect later on Thursday and run through Saturday. We have a small craft advisory up through this afternoon along the Chesapeake Bay. We have high pressure. It's been in really full control of our weather here over the last few days. That's pushing offshore. We have some moisture back off to the west. That's going to be falling apart, but we'll see a few clouds roll in through the afternoon as that weak cold front pushes through the area. Temperatures topping out low to mid 50s across the area today under a mix of sun and clouds. Overall, pleasant day across the area. Will stay partly cloudy overnight. Not that cold. Will dip upper 20s to lower 30s. Milder into our Thursday. Definitely more clouds through the afternoon and into the evening. That's ahead of that cold front. Temperatures will be rising near 60, and then there's the showers. This is 1 a.m. Notice the temperatures. We're well into the 50s and 60s, so this is an all-rain event for the area. We're looking at that rain to continue through Friday morning, so expect a slow morning commute heading out Friday. You can see that rain, and that rain will be heavy at times. Can't even move around a rumble of thunder as we go into Friday morning. You can see that rain pushing offshore by around 6 a.m. and could see another wave of moisture roll in late in the morning. So we're looking at that rain to taper off by about midday. And then those winds are going to be howling. We're looking at a general 1/2 inch to 1.25 inches of rain, and there's those winds howling out of the south through Friday morning, gusting 40, 45 miles an hour. They switch out of the west as that front pushes through. We'll hit 61. That comes in the morning. Temperatures are going to be falling. We have that yellow alert in play. 42 on Saturday. A nice dry weekend to make your last-minute preparations for Christmas. 53 by Sunday under partly cloudy skies. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. A new Dairy Queen is one step closer in Milton. Last night, the town's Planning and Zoning Commission gave its approval for the fast food chain. This is for construction right next to an already approved Dunkin' Donuts. That's in front of the Cypress Grove development. According to town documents, this restaurant would sit on less than an acre of land. However, plans are getting mixed opinions in the town.
I think it's good for this area because before we always had to go into Lewes.
I'm not real happy about it. I think there's a couple of really nice local creameries in the area that I'd rather see people, go to.
And the Dairy Queen would have a drive-through, also 32 parking spaces.
Up next, Delaware statue debate. Why a debate over this Caesar Rodney statue is resurfacing in Delaware and it's getting some national spotlight. We'll be right back. Delaware's controversial Caesar Rodney statue is back in the spotlight ahead of America's 250th birthday. Rodney was born near Dover in 1728, and he was a statesman and signer of the Declaration of Independence, best known for his overnight ride to cast Delaware's deciding vote.
He also owned enslaved people, and in 2020, his statue was removed from Wilmington and has been in storage ever since. State Senator Eric Buxton says it's time to bring the statue back.
The statue is now drawing federal attention, with the talk of the statue being on temporary display in D.C. Critics say the statue showing only Rodney's ride does not reflect the full context of his life and legacy.
Putting it in storage doesn't make history go away, and putting it on display doesn't celebrate the imperfections. It allows us to tell the imperfections. The very difficult times back then centered around specifically slavery. We should be able to tell that story
Let's talk about the full history of Caesar Rodney, and let's also make sure that we're lifting up those other parts of our culture and not just lifting up the one voice that has kind of been, profiled for the last 250 years, and without a whole lot of criticism or real discernment of what his life and legacy was.
If plans move forward for a temporary display in D.C., the Caesar Rodney statue would be featured for America's 250th celebration. And after that, its permanent placement in Delaware remains undecided, with one potential site being outside Legislative Hall.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva. We hit our lows just after midnight thanks to southwest winds. We're seeing temperatures slowly begin to creep up across the area. We're at 34 in Lewes, so considering where we've been, not that bad of a morning across the beaches. We're at 38 to start in Ocean City, 48 by around noon under partly cloudy skies. Fenwick Island, so a beautiful afternoon under a mix of sun and clouds. Lewes will get up into the upper 40s to right near that 50-degree mark in Cambridge. Mix of sun and clouds through the afternoon. Winds will pick up a bit through the afternoon, gusting to 25 miles an hour through the bay. Congratulations, Randall Mullen of Berlin, Maryland. You just won an umbrella from Coast TV. You can always call our First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. We have some unsettled weather to go through down the road as we go into Friday morning. I'll have more on that in our next half hour.
And after the break on Coast TV News today, flight incentives canceled. We'll tell you why some Delaware lawmakers are expected to file new bills that could impact airlines, such as Avelo and others.
Also, property owner rental regulations, why Lewes officials say some people are breaking code, and what could be done to clarify rules.
And considering change to dog rules, we'll tell you what Lewes officials are set to discuss today about the furry friends and where in the city the change would apply. Coast TV News Today returns after the break.
Now on Coast TV News.
ADU rules reviewed.
So why does this poor little 2.6% of our homes not get the same rights that everybody else has?
Why one coastal community says there are violations to its policy on tiny homes.
Summer Lewes changes. We look at the early stages of a proposal to ban dogs at some city beaches.
Airport contracts threatened. Why some Delaware Democratic lawmakers are targeting the state's main airline.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva. We're beginning in the 30s, pushing the lower 50s this afternoon, and it gets even milder in the days ahead with the threat of heavy rain.
This is Coast TV News Today.
December 17th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt, and I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us today.
It is 6:31 a.m. We're halfway through the week. We're not quite halfway through the Hanukkah season, but there are plenty of December events underway or soon will get underway.
That is true. December is a very exciting month. I think it's a lot of family time, a lot of friends, a lot of gatherings, and then 2026 comes around, you start those resolutions.
Oh, I don't pay attention to that.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, my resolution is to be updated on the forecast every single day. And thank goodness I can, because we have First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono preparing you as you make your way out the door today and every day. Good morning, Chris.
Grace, thanks a lot. Your forecast brewed fresh daily here on First Alert Weather. As we take a live look in through Lewes, just a few high clouds there. Sunrise coming in at 7:13. Temperatures not all that bad this morning, especially at the beaches. We're at 34 in Lewes. That's thanks to a southwest wind flow that kicked in through the overnight. You can see we're running about 8 degrees warmer in Ocean City than where we were at yesterday at this time. Easton coming in at 13 degrees warmer. You can see away from Coastal Highway, we're right around the freezing mark. 31 in Seaford to 29 in Georgetown. Wind chills are a bit cold, especially west of Coastal Highway, where it feels like 19 in Redden, feels like 22 in Georgetown. But we are under the influence of high pressure that retreats offshore. That cold front back off to the west, that's going to swing through later on today, just bringing us a bit of clouds, but not much in the way of moisture. A mix of sun and clouds through our day today. We trend milder into our Thursday as we go into the lower 60s. That's ahead of a strong cold front. We have a yellow alert in effect for Friday morning, heavy soaking rain, and the winds will really begin gusting as we go through Friday morning. Now, temperatures rising today into the lower 50s this afternoon under that mix of sun and clouds. I'll have your full 7-day forecast in just minutes.
Thank you, Chris. And it's our top story this half hour. Rules for dogs on the beach in Lewes. Today, the city's ad hoc committee looking at potential changes to its dog ordinance to minimize confusion.
And we have our Elisa Weber live at Lewes Beach. This proposal looks to ban dogs during the summertime entirely at some of the city's beaches. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Right now, I am at Savannah Beach, which is one of the guarded beaches here in Lewes. Today, the city's ad hoc committee is looking at a proposal to ban dogs at guarded beaches during the entire summertime. Those are restricted areas. And according to the city, right now, your dog is allowed on the beach before 8 a.m. and after 6:30 in the summertime. The proposed ordinance looks to ban dogs on beaches during the entire summer in restricted areas, which the city says are beaches with lifeguards. The city says this is to eliminate confusion and to prevent dog waste from being left on the beach. The city did emphasize to us that dogs would be allowed on beaches where lifeguards do not patrol, but of course they must be on a leash. We spoke with dog owners in Lewes who have differing opinions about the possible changes.
If they ban dogs during the season or while there are lifeguards on duty, that's something I couldn't even argue with or be upset about. It's a public beach, and a dog can always be a liability or to someone a menace or a nuisance.
Well, dogs are important for me to be on the beach. That's why I'm in Lewes. I've looked around a lot of different areas in the past.
Again, this is just a proposal, and that ad hoc committee meeting will take place this morning at 11 a.m. Back to you.
We're going to stay in Lewes. The city is taking a look at the impact of its 2024 wetlands ordinance to private property owners. This ordinance review ad hoc committee, again, is meeting this morning, and one area of attention is the ability to remodel existing structures or new structures. The ordinance regulating these areas states its purpose is to increase buffers around wetlands.
And here's a look at an accessory dwelling unit, which is used when a main house and a second independent living space sit on the same property. Happening today, the Lewes Planning Commission will discuss the rules surrounding these properties, specifically the requirement that property owners must live in one part of an ADU.
And in a beach community like Lewes, we know there's several existing ADUs where both units are being used as short-term rentals, and according to the city, those people are breaking the rules because according to code, the property owner must live in one of the units.
The Lewes Planning Commission gathers tonight at 6:30 p.m.
Happening this afternoon, BB Healthcare breaking ground on its newest health campus in Millsboro. This is located near the new bypass. This is at Sheep Pen Road and Route 20. And BB says this new facility will include a freestanding emergency department with pediatric care, walk-in services, lab services, and a retail pharmacy.
Today is the last day to file to run for town council in Ellendale. The town says people must submit forms no later than noon. According to the town, there are 3 open seats, and officials will hold a special meeting tonight at 6 p.m. to announce the candidates. The agenda for that special meeting also states the officials could set an election date if needed.
New this morning, a Lewes man is facing charges. According to Delaware State Police, he's accused of a violent attack that left a woman critically hurt. Troopers say they were called to a home on Tidal Way just after 3 a.m. on December 13th for a welfare check, and when police arrived, they found the woman inside suffering from life-threatening injuries. They also found 31-year-old Shane Wendell with serious deep cuts, and according to police, the attack happened during an argument. And for more on this, you can head to our article on our website, CoastTV.com.
You may already know that Avelo Airlines, which operates out of Wilmington Airport, works with immigration and customs enforcement on deportation flights. Now, some Democrats in the Delaware General Assembly are looking to cut off incentives for airlines that do this.
2 new bills would block things like airport contracts and fuel tax breaks for airlines that fly detainees without proper court approval. The Democrats say the goal is to make sure public dollars don't support what they are calling reckless immigration enforcement.
The measures are expected to be filed this week and taken up when the legislative session begins January 13th. We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. as many Americans say it's harder to pay for things like groceries and holiday gifts. This just in, Bank of America statistics showing many low and middle income paychecks aren't keeping up with inflation.
Yeah, and Amy Kiley shows us new reports as the president prepares to address the nation tonight.
2026 is going to be a bountiful year.
The Trump administration is promising a happy new year for affordability ahead of the president's primetime address tonight. The White House says he'll look back on 2025 and look ahead to 2026. Economists and fresh data paint a complicated picture of affordability. A new report shows retail sales were flat between September and October.
Affordability is certainly an issue, but when you have higher income earners, it's going to be less sensitive for them.
A report out yesterday shows the unemployment rate hit a 4-year high last month.
We are in this sort of no hire, no fire type of market.
It also indicates the economy lost 105,000 jobs in October and gained 64,000 last month.
Over the last 6 months, there's been essentially no job growth. And there's 3 reasons for that: immigration, DOGE, and tariffs.
Another part of affordability is the cost of goods. Tomorrow's Consumer Price Index update will give insight into that. Statistics show CPI growth was easing for the first few months of the year.
Then what happened is you saw the president come into office and ignite the most inflationary policies in our lifetimes with these tariffs.
As for the GDP,
as we go into 2026, I'm still pretty optimistic.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, major vote on Maryland Highway. We'll tell you what lawmakers could decide for the Bay Bridge with an expected vote this week.
Also, early season basketball showdown, how Dover was able to dominate Cape in a Henlopen Conference battle.
And before that, time to showcase how you are decorating your homes this season. Oh my goodness, Matt.
There's a lot going on there.
This is one of the most beautifully ornate, this tree is intentional.
And I love the over the fireplace there, but below the TVs, just it all aligns.
This is coming to us from Cheyenne and Cheryl in Hurlock, and my goodness, this is beautiful. This is just beautiful, Matt.
I love this time of year because we get to see things like that, and we would like to see your festive decorations to be shared on our broadcast. So take a look at the screen, send in your pictures. We still have time, still have several days before Christmas, and you can do that by sending the pictures to our website, coasttv.com/holidayhouse.
We salute Constance Speak, a law enforcement pioneer whose years of service continue to shape and strengthen the Dewey Beach Police Department. Since taking command as chief, she has led with transparency, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to the town's residents, businesses, and visitors. We honor Chief Speak for her leadership, her example, and her steadfast service to Dewey Beach.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Hope your Wednesday morning is off to a fantastic start. Temperatures have been slowly rising through the morning as we take a live look in through Laurel. 33 degrees there. We're at 29 in Georgetown, 36 in Indian River Inlet, and 37 in Ocean City. Still seeing some pretty chilly wind chills. Feels like 19 in Redden, 22 in Georgetown, 23 in Salisbury. Weak cold front's going to be pushing through later on today, so that will bring with it a few clouds across the area, but we're going to continue the theme of below average temperatures here over the last since the start of the month. We're going to be right on average today with temperatures right around the low to mid 50s across the peninsula, and we turn even warmer tomorrow. I'll have more on that, plus the threat of rain in the forecast here in minutes.
Construction is getting underway. This is at the US 13 Truck Weigh and Inspection Station in Wicomico County. The State Highway Administration is launching a $5.2 million upgrade to modernize the Delmarva facility, which was originally built in 1955. The project includes new equipment, better lighting, and updated inspection buildings, and that work is expected to wrap up by next summer. And to learn more about this project, you can head to the article on our website, coasttv.com.
A major decision this week could eventually reshape how drivers cross the Chesapeake Bay. The Maryland Transportation Authority Board is set to vote Thursday on a plan to replace the existing Bay Bridge spans with 2 new 4-lane bridges. The proposal would also widen Route 50 and could add a bike and pedestrian path. State officials say, if approved, construction would aim to begin in the summer of 2032.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, folks. Basketball season is heating up. A big game Tuesday night in Lewes. Dover traveling to the coast to take on Cape Henlopen. The Senators looking to bounce back from a tough weekend at the D1 Showcase at Louisiana. And Jordan Downing is going to kick us off here with this tough layup inside to tie it up at 2. Later in the first, Dover with an 8-4 lead, and Terrence Williams says, how about I add 3 more to that? It's an 11-4 lead for Dover in the first quarter. And then Joseph Taylor showing off the handle, gets inside, tough layup for 2. Dover goes up by 7. Later in the first quarter, Javion Dennis, may I have this dance, gets in the lane, floater is good. Senators go up by 10 with this bucket, but then later, Downing did it inside. How about we go outside this time, knocks down a 3, but Dover still has a 26-16 lead. And then Jamison Tangle, the quarterback on the football field, showing some patience inside the paint, cuts the Dover lead to 12. And then later, Dennis on the other end. That's just too much space. Can't leave him that open. Dover goes up by 13 in the third quarter here. And then Chase Little drives it inside, kicks it up to Troy Spencer. Spencer steps in, knocks down the pull-up J to go up 13. Then later, Cam Jackson, Dixon up high. Joseph Taylor down hard. Senators led by 15 with that dunk. And then Terrence Williams, another 3, this time from the top of the key. Dover goes up by 17. And then Jamison Tingle, little window dressing for this one to make it a 17-point game. Dover would go on to win 65-49. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 6, we have live NCAA women's basketball, and Maryland Eastern Shore host Towson. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. Now, you can watch that women's basketball game on DSN Plus along with these exclusives. We have high school wrestling starting at 5. Colonel Richardson visits Mardella. At 6 p.m., St. Mark's is at Cesar Rodney. 6:15, Seaford battles Laurel in boys basketball. And at 6:30 p.m., this one should be a real good one, high school wrestling, Sussex Central and Decatur.
And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a good day so far here along coastal Delmarva. If you join us today at 4 for some Coast Life, here is what's coming your way. If you've made some room in your heart and your home for a sweet fur baby, it is this week's Pet of the Week. Also, if you love supporting local artists and authors, we do have a local author to share with you and their upcoming book. We also are taking a trip to Ocean City to visit the iconic Dollies. All of that and more is coming your way today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
We're slowly thawing out on the Delmarva Peninsula after morning temperatures in the 20s and 30s. We'll get up into the low 50s under a mix of sun and clouds, looking very nice, and it gets even better tomorrow ahead of some heavy rain and wind. We'll talk about it. Break.
And the time is now 6:50 a.m. Here is your sunrise reveal, looking out into Lewes. And Chris, you and I were just talking about the first day of December. It begins at 10:03 a.m. this Sunday, shortest day of the year with the winter solstice coming up.
Yeah, hard to believe. I mean, it's been such a cold fall, right? We haven't even officially begun winter yet. And we're actually going to see some warming temperatures this week, as you'll see shortly. See the American flag there blowing? Not too strong of a wind this morning. We've had a southwesterly wind, and that's helped temperatures rise above the freezing mark, especially along the beaches. We hit our lows just after midnight, and we've been slowly creeping up through the overnight into the morning. We're 14 degrees warmer in Easton than where we were just this time 24 hours ago. We're at 29 Georgetown, 34 Milton, 37 in Bethany Beach. See the winds out of the southwest, so that's helping us warm, but we've still seen some chilly wind chills, especially west of Coastal Highway, where it feels like 19 in Redden. We have this gale watch that goes into effect tomorrow evening through Saturday morning. We're expecting winds to really pick up along the peninsula as we go into Thursday night through the day on Friday. We're clear and dry, just a few high clouds rolling across the area. We'll see some added clouds later on as this weak front pushes through the area. Highs today right around 51 in Milford to 54 Laurel, 53 Cambridge, 53 in Federalsburg, 54 Salisbury to 54 in Ocean City. So there's that mix of sun and clouds through the afternoon today. Will be partly cloudy overnight. Clouds will increase further into the day on Thursday ahead of that cold front, and you can see temperatures are going to be surging tomorrow night into the 60s ahead of that rain, and we're going to be in the 60s pretty much most of the Delmarva Peninsula. And then there's that rain rolling in after midnight Thursday into Friday morning, and then that rain is going to be heavy at times, and even a rumble of thunder is possible through your morning commute. So take your time Friday morning, because that rain is going to be quick hitting and heavy hitting. As we get into late Friday morning into the afternoon, that rain will be winding down, but the winds will be the story, as those winds will pick up through the day on Friday. Rainfall on the order of about an inch to 1.25 inches, I think, once all is said and done by early Friday afternoon. There's those winds gusting out of the south to 40, 45 miles an hour. Front pushes through and they howl out of the west. Temperatures are going to be falling through the day. We'll hit our highs in the morning and then they'll fall through the morning, falling into the 40s. We're back to 42 for our high on Saturday, and then we usher in that winter solstice there on Sunday, 53 degrees under partly cloudy skies.
We continue to receive your cards and our donations for our Bless Our Children campaign. We are raising money to ensure that every child on Delmarva has that special present to open during this Christmas time. And here is the latest card that we received in donation. Got this great winter scene of horses pulling a sleigh in the snow. And this one was sent to us by Dave and Shirley from Selbyville. And inside they have a good message for us. They say, God bless you all. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for your card and donation. Businesses can help by accepting the Shell Brothers Challenge of donating at least $1,000. And if you want to help, send a donation and a holiday card, and we may just read it on the air. Send a check or money order to the address on your screen or donate online at blessourchildren.org.
We have already raised over $320,000 to help children and families this holiday season. Again, we would like to thank all who have donated. And the time's now 6:53 a.m. Time to check in with our coastal pet of the day. This is from Pamela again. Last hour, she sent us her beautiful little dachshund puppy, and now she's sending us her kitty.
We got Tigger here, and as you can see, Tigger cannot wait to get their paws on a special treat. I can relate with Tigger. Who could deny that face? Tigger was submitted to us, as Grace said, by Pamela and Lincoln, who also gave us our pet in our last hour, too.
Pamela's got a little zoo going on, right? Well, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva, your dogs and your cats. You can send us photos. Tell us what makes them so special. If you take a look at your screen now.
Hey, you can scan that QR code at the top to get your friends to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
On our way to highs in the low to mid-50s this afternoon under a mix of sun and clouds. Your 10-day forecast shows 58, and on Thursday clouds increase. We have a yellow alert in play for Friday morning. Heavy rain, could even have a rumble of thunder. Winds will be gusting to near 45 miles an hour.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday. That's at 11 a.m.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Wednesday morning, everybody.